Something happened last night, and I'm not here to ask if you noticed. I'm here to tell you that you did, but you didn't know how to name it. You felt the subtle disorientation upon waking, the almost forgotten dream, the breath that felt deeper than usual, the moment when time itself seemed to hesitate as you opened your eyes. That was not imagination, that was shift, and I say to you now, you have already moved. You think reality changes through external effort, through rituals, work, signs, but I tell you, reality is changed in sleep. It is selected in the final breath before the body sinks. That moment between wakefulness and dream, when the inner man is loosened from the mask of the day, that is the holy portal through which timelines collapse and rebirths begin. And last night, whether you realized it or not, you entered that portal with a new assumption. You may have drifted into sleep, carrying the feeling of a wish fulfilled. You may have replayed a scene of success, or remembered yourself as someone already chosen, already blessed. You may not have called it a ritual. You may not have spoken a word, but the vibration you fell asleep in was received by the law, and the law has no opinion. It only reflects the tone of your being. It has already begun to echo what you assumed in stillness. The shift has already occurred. But here is the tragedy of most seekers. They wake up in a new world and immediately pull yesterday's identity back over their eyes. They feel the shift, but doubt it. They question the softness, the silence, the strangeness of morning. They say, "Why does everything feel different?" and then proceed to treat it exactly the same. They ask for signs, unaware that the very act of asking is a denial of the thing already done. Do not let that be you. You are not here to learn how to shift. You are here to realize that you already have. I am not giving you new tools. I am giving you permission to remember. The dream you carried into the night has already begun to manifest in this waking world, but it will arrive first in symbol, in texture, in tone, not in fact. And only those with eyes to see and ears to hear will recognize it. So come now, walk with me through the veil. Let us look not at what has appeared, but at what is now forming beneath the surface. I will show you how to know that your world is already rearranging itself. I will show you the signs the old world cannot read. You don't need to make anything happen. You only need to stop undoing what you already did. Let this be your confirmation, not your instruction. You have shifted. You are no longer who you were. And if you dare to stop looking backward, you will see what you've already become. You awaken, sensing something is different, yet the world around you insists it is the same. This dissonance is the great test for the awakened soul. You feel the tremor beneath the surface, but seek confirmation in the outer forms, the bank balance, the familiar faces, the unchanged routine. You ask yourself, has the shift really happened, or was it a dream? And this question, though natural, is the very tether that binds you to the old reality. Understand this. Waiting for the outer world to confirm your inner change is like trying to hear a clear melody while standing in the middle of a storm. The noise drowns the subtle song of transformation. The world does not mirror the inner shift instantly, because time itself is a reflection, a delay in the great cosmic broadcast. Your outer senses are not the instruments of truth. They are filters colored by past assumptions. The confusion you feel is not failure. It is the lag between the new frequency you assumed in sleep and the old frequency still playing on the stage of your daily life. Like a radio dial slowly tuning in, the signals clash before harmony settles. You are caught between two worlds, one you have chosen in the silence and one you habitually revisit in distraction. This lag causes doubt. It causes the inner critic to whisper, "It's not real. You haven't shifted. You're fooling yourself." But that voice is the echo of the old timeline, desperate to maintain its hold. You must learn to recognize it and not surrender to it. For the reality you have entered was forged in the quiet hours, beyond the grasp of the waking mind. You have been conditioned to seek proof in the visible, to measure your power by changing circumstances, by external signs. But Neville taught that the shift is first a movement in consciousness, unseen by the outer eye. The outer world is always behind, always playing catch-up. If you chase the outer, you miss the real work, holding the new reality steady within. This moment of disorientation is a sacred rite. It is the spiritual Groundhog Day where the soul decides, will it believe the shift is real or will it retreat into the safety of familiar patterns? The old world asks you to doubt. The new world calls you to faith. The choice is yours. Do not wait for the world to align. Instead, align yourself with the world you have already entered. This is the reversal Neville spoke of. The inner precedes the outer. And until you stop undoing your own shift, the outer will remain unchanged. Let us now move deeper into the law that governs this mysterious process, the principle that makes your reality obey your sleep-born assumption even before your waking eyes can see it. There is a law that governs the unseen world, a law so exact, so unyielding, that it never fails, even when the mind cannot comprehend it. Neville revealed this law through the truth that your imagination is God's creative power. When you fall asleep carrying the assumption of a new reality, you are not dreaming, you are designing. You are tuning your spiritual radio to a frequency so precise that the universe itself begins to rewrite its script to match your inner broadcast. Faith is not blind hope. It is the vivid awareness of the end already realized in the silent chambers of your being. It is the evidence of the unseen made alive in your felt experience. When you enter sleep with the conviction that you have shifted realities, the law responds with perfect obedience. The world you awaken into is simply the reflection of the unseen world you occupied during rest. Your assumption last night was the seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. It is there, beneath the surface, growing silently, shaping every thread of your experience. But like all seeds, it must be nurtured, protected from doubt, and allowed to break forth in its appointed time. The outer world lags because it is not the creator, but the mirror. Your inner speech, your belief, your imagination, these are the architects of form. The act of falling asleep in a new state is itself a profound declaration. It tells the unseen forces, this is the reality I accept, and they respond with the slow but unstoppable unfolding of that reality. The delay you sense is not resistance, but the natural gestation of creation. It is the wave before the shore, the breath before the exhale, the moment before the dawn. You are no longer a passive passenger of time, but its sovereign pilot. Your spiritual GPS is set, and the unseen realm is your map. When you awaken, you must walk as the one who has arrived, not as the one still hoping for arrival. For it is your assumption, sustained beyond the veil of sleep, that anchors the new world into existence. Remember this principle well. The world is not waiting for you, it is obeying you, and the clearer you are in your inner conviction, the swifter the outer world must conform. Your reality shift is real, because you made it real in the invisible first. Now, with this law unfolding within you, I will reveal how you can know for sure that your reality shifted last night. These signs are your confirmation, your sacred proof, your inner witness to the divine work that is already done. The first sign that you shifted realities last night is often felt in the deepest chambers of your being as an unsettling emotional dissonance. You awake, and the world, while seemingly unchanged, feels off, like a familiar song playing in a strange key. You may feel disoriented, disconnected, or as if you are walking through a veil that was not there before. This sensation is not your enemy. It is your spirit shedding the skin of your old identity, preparing to wear a new one. This quantum vertigo arises because your soul has already crossed into a new frequency, but your body and senses are still adjusting to the unfamiliar resonance. You may feel a subtle emptiness or an inexplicable anxiety, not because you have lost control, but because the old self is dying and the new self has not yet been fully embraced. This gap between what you are becoming and what you remember yourself to be is the crucible of transformation. Do not fear this feeling. Do not rush to fill the void with explanations or distractions. Instead, recognize it as the echo of your inner shift, a sacred confirmation that the old timeline no longer holds you. It is the spiritual residue of a soul in transit, the pulse of a new reality beginning to form beneath the surface of your waking world. The old world's logic will try to convince you that nothing has changed, that it was only a dream or imagination. But this is the voice of the past resisting its own dissolution. Listen instead to the subtle energy stirring beneath the doubt. Let this emotional dissonance be your beacon, for every great rebirth is preceded by a sacred unraveling, a moment when the foundation quakes before the new temple rises. If you feel this, know that you are not lost. You are exactly where you must be, between worlds, between selves, between realities. This is the sacred tension of becoming, and it is your first sign that the universe has already obeyed your inner decree. As your inner frequency shifts, the outer world begins to reflect this change in subtle yet undeniable ways. You may notice glitches in the fabric of your daily experience, moments when time seems to falter, conversations take unexpected turns, or doors open with uncanny ease. These are not coincidences, but divine breadcrumbs leading you deeper into your new reality. The universe is bending moment by moment to align with the truth you assumed while you slept. The loops of repetition you once walked, those patterns of frustration, doubt, and delay, begin to fracture. Events that used to feel mechanical and predetermined now carry a pulse of spontaneity and purpose. You see signs that the script is being rewritten. Sometimes you may experience what seems like a glitch, a misstep in the old reality that feels out of place, like a crack in the mirror. It may unsettle you at first, but understand that this is the old world breaking apart to make room for the new. These interruptions are sacred. They are the universe's way of saying the shift has begun. Stay the course. These synchronicities are the language of spirit speaking to you. They are confirmations from a dimension beyond the senses that your inner work is real and that your outer world is beginning to catch up. You may feel amazed, bewildered, or even afraid, but do not let fear undo what faith has sown. Remember, you are walking through a doorway, and the threshold is often marked by strange sounds and shifting shadows. These signs are the heralds of your new timeline. Pay attention, receive them with awe. Let them fuel your certainty rather than your doubt. The universe is responding. The mirror is cracking. The old loops are breaking. And this is your second sign. The world no longer plays by the rules it once did. You are now a new player. The most profound sign of your shifted reality is not found in the world outside, but within the sacred chamber of your heart and mind. It is the quiet, the deep stillness that settles where once there was anxiety. The absence of that relentless urge to prove, to confirm, to push. When the old you sought evidence at every turn, the new you no longer needs to ask, for the knowing has become absolute. This internal stillness is the magnetic center that draws the outer world to obey your silent command. It is the quiet gravity that bends space and time, the sacred pause where faith becomes fact. You will find yourself walking through days without the compulsion to check, without the desperation to make it happen, and without the need to justify your belief to others or even to yourself. Such rest is not weakness. It is not surrender to doubt. It is a sovereign state, the throne of the one who has ceased to strive and now simply is. Like God resting on the seventh day, you have laid down the tools of effort and taken up the mantle of being. The shift has anchored so deeply that your frequency no longer wavers with outer circumstance. You will notice how others' urgency and noise fade around you like distant storms. Your inner world becomes a sanctuary, impenetrable and serene. It is here, in this temple of stillness, that the new reality holds its form most securely. If you find yourself needing to prove the shift, be cautious. It may be a sign you are slipping back into the old vibration. But if you walk in calm assurance, knowing without seeing, you have reached the sacred valley where faith and reality merge. This is your third sign, the disappearance of the need to prove. The quiet power of one who has remembered who they are, and therefore needs no longer to ask. Just as the seed must break through the earth's crust before blossoming, so too will your shifted reality face one final test, a surge of outer resistance, a friction that feels like the world pushing back harder than ever before. This is no coincidence. It is the last ripple of the old timeline snapping against the new vibration you now hold. The universe does not resist change, but the inertia of past patterns must be overcome, cracked open, released. You may experience sudden obstacles, delays, or strange confrontations that shake your faith. People may act unpredictably. Your own mind may throw up moments of doubt, confusion, or despair. But understand this for what it is, a necessary crucible designed not to punish, but to purify, to test if your new self can endure the pressure without collapsing. Do not mistake this resistance for failure. It is the last breath of the old world as it breathes its last. The floodgate creaking open, the shell cracking to reveal the pearl. If you give in to fear or despair now, you invite the old vibration back. But if you hold steady, if you walk through the fire with calm assurance, you will emerge on the other side transformed, your new reality fully anchored. This test is a spiritual rite of passage. It is your soul's declaration. I am no longer bound by past patterns. I am sovereign. It calls for mastery, for the quiet discipline of one who knows that friction is temporary, but the new state is eternal. So when you feel this surge, breathe deeply. Remind yourself that the world is obeying your inner decree, even if it feels chaotic. The very pressure means the shift is real. Stand firm, walk slowly, speak softly. Your silence is your power. And soon, the resistance will fade, the waves will calm, and you will stand on new ground, solid, unshakable, and ready for the unfolding. You have passed through the veil. The shift you made in the hidden hours of night is no longer a secret whispered in silence. It has become the very fabric of your waking world, though others may not yet see it. Your reality has been rewoven, your identity recast, and your power returned. You are no longer the person who once prayed from lack. You are the one who walks in fullness, undeniably, unshakably. This is your sacred coronation, the moment Neville referred to when the inner man becomes king and the outer world must bow. You do not need to prove it, defend it, or explain it. Your life is now the living testament. Your every breath carries the truth of the shift. The world around you will begin to reflect what you have already assumed in the invisible realm. And with this truth comes peace, the peace of one who has ceased to struggle, the peace of one who knows that the unseen is more real than the seen, the peace of one who no longer chases reality, but walks as its author. This is the final initiation, the merging of spirit and flesh, dream and manifestation, assumption and fact. You are no longer in transition. You have arrived. Your timeline is set, your vibration fixed. And as the old self fades into memory, the new self stands fully formed, crowned in sovereignty, clothed in the garment of faith made flesh. Hold this moment sacred. Guard it well. Speak little. Walk quietly. Let your life be the proclamation that the universe obeys only one law, the law of your assumption. Remember always, the power was never in the outer conditions. It was always in you. And now, finally, you remember. If what you have heard has stirred the quiet depths within, it was never by accident. It was the call of your own true self, the echo of the I am that resides beyond time and space. You have crossed the invisible threshold. You have shifted realities. And you need no more proof than the whisper of knowing that lingers in your heart. I invite you now to mark this transformation, not for others, but for yourself. Leave a sign, a word, a silent nod in the space below, but do so lightly. This is not for attention. It is a sacred remembrance, a covenant between you and the infinite. Return to this teaching when the veil thickens again, when doubt creeps back, and when the world calls you to question your own power. Come back not to relearn, but to remember what you already know deep in your bones. Walk now in silence. Speak little. Let your life radiate what no words can capture. The shift is complete, the timeline altered, and the kingdom within you reigns. You stand at the crossroads, weighted down by debt, a burden that feels as if it is carved into your very flesh, a shadow stretching across every breath, every moment, every thought. Yet what if I told you that this weight, this shadow, is not your destiny, but your assumption? That debt is not a fixed condition, but a mental prison built from repeated agreements whispered into the depths of your consciousness. There is a reversal, a single profound mental act that can unravel the chains and flood your life with overflow. This reversal is not a trick of the mind, but a law as ancient as creation itself, a divine law that governs every particle of your experience. In this moment, despair may clutch your heart, but hope flickers like a sacred flame waiting to be stoked. For you are not bound by your current circumstances. You are bound only by the beliefs you hold. And these beliefs can be overturned with one mental shift, a reversal of assumption so radical, so complete, that it transforms debt into abundance, limitation into freedom. This is the power Neville Goddard spoke of in hushed tones, the power to rewrite your reality by rewriting your identity. But understand this well. This is no quick fix. It is no fleeting affirmation to be whispered and forgotten. It is an invitation to step into a new way of being, to don a new garment woven from the threads of overflow and faith. It requires surrender to the sacred process of mental transformation, a commitment to hold the new assumption with unwavering conviction. It asks that you turn your back on the old identity shackled by debt and walk boldly into the radiant self that already lives within you. Tonight, you will learn this reversal. You will begin the journey from scarcity to overflow, from bondage to liberation. You will discover how to cultivate the fertile soil of your imagination and plant the seed of wealth that will grow unseen but unstoppable. And if you will walk this path with me, your life will bear witness to the divine truth. What you assume to be true becomes your fact. Are you ready to step through this door? To let the phoenix rise from your ashes? Then come. The hour is now. You have felt the weight of debt pressing down on your spirit, the silent voice in your mind whispering, "Not enough." The anxious breath that tightens your chest as you stare at the numbers that seem to multiply instead of diminish. Yet this crushing reality, while painfully real to your senses, is not the foundation of your existence. It is a projection, a shadow cast by the inner assumptions you have carried without full awareness. You have spoken words of hope, recited affirmations, and made plans to break free. But the invisible chains remain unbroken because they are woven from belief, not from mere circumstance. Your conscious desires to escape debt clash with the hidden script playing beneath your awareness. The mind is a master illusionist, projecting a fractured image of your true self. In this fractured reflection, you see scarcity where there is potential, limitation where there is abundance. The struggle is not external, it is internal. Your outer world is a mirror, and the reflection you meet each day is shaped by your unspoken agreements, your mental patterns, your repeated convictions. Many try to will their way out, to work harder, to make smarter choices, yet the mental root remains unaddressed. It is like mopping water from a leaking vessel without first sealing the hole. Your outer efforts are noble, but without the inward reversal, they only delay the inevitable repetition of debt. This is the spiritual paradox Neville revealed. The outer world cannot be changed without first changing the inner world. Tonight you will begin to see that your debt is not a sentence, but a symptom. Not a destiny, but a door. The door that opens only when you reverse the mental assumption that sustains it. You are called now to recognize the lie beneath the surface, the belief that debt defines you, and to step beyond it. This is the first step to transforming lack into overflow, bondage into liberation. Open your mind to this truth. The prison of debt is not made of chains and contracts alone. It is forged in the furnace of repeated thought and feeling. Break the pattern there, and the world must follow. It is law, it is promise, and it is waiting for your command. Listen well, For here lies the heart of transformation, the divine principle that governs all creation, the law of assumption. This law is not a theory nor a hopeful suggestion, but a cosmic decree that what you assume as true within your consciousness will manifest without. Debt, lack, limitation, these are nothing but assumptions, deeply held and repeatedly affirmed, but they can be undone, overturned, reversed by the singular act of mental and emotional substitution. To turn debt into overflow is to enact a mental reversal that does not deny reality, but transforms it at its root. It is the spiritual resurrection from the grave of limitation into the boundless light of abundance. The law demands that you cease to identify with your debt, to refuse its claim on your identity, and instead assume the feeling of overflow as your present state. The feeling is the seed, the assumption is the soil, the unfolding is inevitable. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the sacred act of creation itself. You do not conjure money by wishing or desperation. You embody the state of one who lives in perpetual abundance. You whisper the truth to your subconscious mind, not as a distant hope, but as a present reality. And the subconscious, which knows no difference between fact and vivid imagination, begins to reorder your experience accordingly. Neville taught that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. But faith must be sustained by feeling, the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not by longing for fulfillment. This is the mental reversal, to no longer live as one drowning in debt, but as one swimming in the overflow, as one whose bank balance is a reflection of inner riches. This principle is your key to freedom. It is the reversal of all lack, and it is the only true cause behind the change you seek. When you hold this law sacred, when you apply it with unwavering conviction, the outer world must bow before the inner reality. This is your power, your promise, your divine right. Prepare now to enter the practical path of application, the sacred steps that will bring this mental reversal to life, embedding it in your being, so that debt dissolves and overflow reigns. Begin now the solemn act of honest self-examination. Look within and observe without judgment the mental landscape that sustains your debt. This landscape is not barren. It is filled with roots of fear, guilt, doubt, and old belief patterns intertwined like thick vines. These are the invisible architects of your experience, shaping every breath, every thought, every choice. To begin the reversal, you must first confess this hidden architecture, not to condemn, but to illuminate. See how your mind clings to scarcity as if it were a lifeline. Notice the subtle whispers of unworthiness that linger beneath your conscious affirmations. Observe how the shadow of past failures projects itself onto present possibilities, convincing you that lack is your rightful state. These mental chains have been forged not overnight, but through years of repeated agreements, each thought a link, each feeling a lock. This confession is not a retreat into shame, but a courageous unveiling. By bringing these shadows into the light of awareness, you break their power. They lose the ability to operate in secrecy, and in that loss, they begin to dissolve. You are no longer a passive victim, but an awakened architect of your inner world. Surrender now to this process. Release the struggle to control outcomes through external means. Understand that the key to your liberation lies not in the world outside, but in the kingdom within. The mental reversal you seek begins here, in the sacred act of seeing your truth and choosing to step beyond it. As you stand before this mirror, ready to shatter the illusion of limitation, prepare your heart to receive the new assumption, the overflowing self, waiting patiently to replace the debtor. This recognition is your first step toward resurrection. With your eyes now open to the mental state that kept you bound, you turn toward the light of transformation, the sacred construction of your new identity. This mental reversal is not a vague wish or half-hearted hope. It is a deliberate, conscious act of creative imagination, a spiritual forge where the old self is melted and recast into the overflowing self. Begin by forming a vivid, living picture of your new reality, one where abundance flows freely, debt dissolves, and your needs are met with effortless grace. See yourself walking through this reality with ease, your hands open, your heart full, your mind clear. Feel the relief washing through your body as scarcity fades into the past, replaced by a joyous certainty that overflow is now your state. This imaginal scene must be rich with sensory detail, not just a mental snapshot, but a full immersion. Hear the sounds of freedom, the laughter of friends, the ringing of celebration, the quiet hum of peace. Smell the freshness of opportunity, taste the sweetness of success, feel the warmth of comfort and security wrapping around you like a garment. This is not fantasy, it is the spiritual architecture of your new self. Hold this mental construction close. Return to it often throughout the day. Let it become the anchor that tethers you to your new assumption. Each time doubt arises, each time the old fear whispers, let this vivid scene pull you back into your rightful place as the sovereign creator of your experience. Remember, this reversal is not achieved through denial of reality, but through a shift in the foundation of consciousness. You are not pretending scarcity does not exist. You are choosing to identify with the overflowing state that transcends it. This choice is your spiritual resurrection, your divine right, your liberation from debt. This is the mental forge where you recode your destiny. And as you shape this new reality in your imagination, you align with the law that governs all things, the law that says, "Whatsoever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them." As twilight descends and the body begins its descent into rest, you engage in the sacred ritual of rehearsing your new assumption before sleep. This most potent threshold between worlds, where the inner seed is sown deep into the fertile soil of the subconscious. It is not a repetition of words, but a deep immersion into the feeling of abundance already fulfilled, a silent, unshakable knowing that what you desire is already yours. Begin by stilling the mind, releasing the day's clutter and noise, and focusing intently on the vivid scene you constructed, the reality where debt no longer holds dominion, where overflow flows freely. Let your breath slow, matching the rhythm of the night, and allow your heart to fill with gratitude, joy, and peace. Speak your mental reversal once, clearly and with conviction, not as a plea, but as a declaration. I am free from debt. Overflow is my natural state. Do not chase thoughts or images. Instead, become the feeling itself. Imagine this assumption as a silent river flowing gently through your entire being, carrying with it the power to reshape your reality. Fall asleep, cradling this feeling like a sacred flame, trusting the unseen forces to carry your decree through the night's mysterious depths. Understand this. The moment you surrender to sleep, holding this mental rehearsal, you activate the unseen creative process. Your subconscious mind, free from the waking world's distractions, begins weaving your new reality with divine precision. This sacred forge of transformation is the birthplace of miracles, where time collapses and the impossible becomes inevitable. Trust this process fully. Do not doubt, do not resist, do not awaken yourself from this state prematurely. Sleep is the vessel that births your new world. And when you awaken, you will find that the shift has already begun, the tides turning quietly beneath the surface of your life. Rest now, beloved, in the knowing that your mental reversal is planted. The universe is listening, the overflow is coming. The dawn brings new challenges, new opportunities to anchor the sacred transformation within your daily life. As the light pours through your window, remember that the mental reversal you planted in sleep is not a fleeting spark, but a steady flame that demands your constant tending. You are no longer a passerby hoping for abundance. You are the architect, the sovereign who embodies overflow in every breath, every thought, every action. Begin your day with remembrance, not by revisiting doubts or fears, but by returning to the feeling of fullness you rehearsed before sleep. Carry this sensation beneath the surface of your awareness like a hidden river, its current steady and sure, guiding your choices and responses. When the world tries to pull you back into scarcity through bills, conversations, or old habits, stand firm. Do not engage the shadow of lack, but instead return to the light of your new assumption. This daily embodiment is a sacred discipline. It is not forced or frantic. It is the graceful mastery of your inner frequency. Walk as one who commands, not as one who begs. Speak as one who owns, not as one who hopes. Give as one who is abundant, not as one who fears loss. Your posture, your tone, your silence all speak volumes to the unseen forces that shape your reality. Guard your inner space carefully. Resist the temptation to explain your transformation to those still bound by old beliefs. Your silence is your power, your peace is your proclamation, and as you move through your day, let your consistent assumption be the shield that repels doubt and the beacon that attracts opportunity. Remember, this is not a temporary practice, but a new way of being, a spiritual habit that aligns your waking moments with the reality you created in sleep. With each passing day, your mental reversal deepens its roots, transforming not only your finances, but your entire experience of life. Walk now, beloved, in the fullness you have assumed, and watch as the world bends quietly to obey the truth you hold within. Now, as your mental reversal has taken root and your days are touched with the new vibration, you stand at the sacred threshold of completion, a threshold where old limitations dissolve and new realities are born. You are no longer the one who feared debt, the one who waited in scarcity. You are the one who has stepped into overflow, crowned in quiet authority, seated on the throne of your inner creation. This final initiation is not marked by fanfare or clamor, but by a deep stillness, a sovereign peace that comes from knowing your work is done. The inner man, aligned with divine law, rests in the assurance that the unseen has answered, that the invisible has shaped the visible. You do not need to chase or prove. You walk in the fullness of your assumption, and the world must now obey. Remember the sacred words. What you assume to be true, you become. The mental reversal you embraced is no mere thought. It is the resurrection of your identity. The veil between desire and fulfillment has been lifted, revealing the eternal truth that you are the creator of your experience. Carry this truth with reverence. Speak it softly, live it fully, and guard it jealously, for you have crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed. Your life is now the living testimony to the power of assumption made flesh. Walk forward with silent confidence, knowing that the universe bends at the feet of one who has mastered the art of mental reversal. You are no longer a debtor. You are the overflow. If these words have stirred something deep within you, if the flame of transformation has flickered to life in the quiet corners of your heart, then know this was never by chance. It is a sacred calling, an invitation to remember the power you always held but forgot. The mental reversal you embraced is your covenant with abundance, your hidden key to freedom. I invite you now to mark this moment, not with loud declarations, but with a silent nod, a whispered vow in the space below. This is your seal, your acknowledgement, your sacred testimony to the change unfolding within. Return to this teaching when doubt rises, when the old voice whispers, "Not yet," when the world tempts you back into scarcity. Come back to remember, not to relearn, to awaken, not to begin again. Walk in this new reality with humility and strength. Speak less, act from stillness, and let your life become the quiet echo of the truth you carry. The universe is already bending to your vibration. The overflow you seek is already flowing through the unseen. You have shifted,
You are the creator of your reality, and everything you experience in this world is a product of your own assumption. Nothing exists outside of you that has the power to define who you are, except for the thoughts and beliefs that you choose to hold. The world you see, the circumstances that surround you, and the people you meet are not separate from you. They are all reflections of the inner workings of your mind. Your consciousness is the fabric from which all things are made, and it is through your awareness that you bring the unseen into the visible world. The universe does not respond to force, to struggle, or to effort. It responds only to the quiet power of your thoughts, the power of your assumptions, and the power of your beliefs. If you can change what you believe, if you can alter the assumptions you hold about yourself and your life, you will change your world. The only true law that governs all things is the law of assumption. What you assume to be true becomes true in your experience. If you believe that life is a struggle, it will be a struggle. If you believe that abundance is yours, then it must be yours. If you assume that you are worthy, deserving, and capable of all the good things you desire, then your life will unfold in perfect harmony with that assumption. But it is not enough to wish for change. You must live as though the change has already occurred. You must walk through life with the understanding that you are already the person you wish to become. The key to transformation lies in embodying the state of being that you wish to experience. You do not have to wait for the world to change before you change. The world changes when you change your state of being. When you see yourself as whole, complete, and perfect in every way, that is how you will experience the world. It is not the world that dictates who you are, it is you who dictates what the world will be. Your assumptions are the lens through which you view reality. If you see a world of lack, limitation, and struggle, it is because that is the assumption you are holding. If you see a world of abundance, love, and opportunity, it is because you have assumed that is the nature of reality. The world will always conform to your assumptions, no matter how absurd they may seem at first. The moment you assume a new reality, that new reality begins to take shape and become evident in your experience. The process is not magical, it is natural. The law of assumption is as certain as the law of gravity. We are living in a world where most people have been taught to look outside of themselves for answers, to seek validation from others, and to believe that their circumstances define their worth. This is the great illusion. Your worth is not determined by anything outside of you. It is determined by your inner state, by your awareness of your own divine power. The moment you recognize that you are the master of your own destiny, that you have the power to shape your reality, you will begin to experience a new kind of freedom. Freedom from the limitations of time, space, and circumstance. Freedom from the constraints of the past. Freedom from the chains of doubt and fear. When you begin to assume the reality that you desire, the entire universe conspires to bring it into being. The people, the events, the opportunities, and the resources that you need will begin to align themselves with your inner vision. You are the master of your fate, the creator of your experience. You do not have to fight, struggle, or compete for what is already yours. You must only assume that it is yours, and it will come to you in perfect divine timing. There are no obstacles in the universe except for the ones you place in your own mind. The only limitations you experience are those that you believe to be true. Once you recognize that there is no force greater than your own consciousness, you will understand that nothing is impossible. Every limitation is self-imposed. You are not bound by the past, the present, or the future. Time is but a concept, a construct of the mind. You have the power to transcend time, to go beyond the limitations that have been placed upon you. When you believe in your ability to shape your own reality, time bends to your will, and you can experience everything you desire as though it has already happened. The first step to manifesting your desires is to assume that they are already yours. When you pray, when you speak your desires into existence, do so with the absolute certainty that it is already done. Do not wait for external circumstances to change before you believe. Your belief creates the circumstances, not the other way around. The world is not waiting for you to be ready. It is waiting for you to recognize the power within you. It is waiting for you to claim your divinity, to claim your sovereignty over your own life. Do not doubt for a moment that you are worthy of the life you desire. Your worth is inherent. It is not something you must earn, achieve, or prove. You are worthy because you exist. The divine spark within you is the source of all creation. When you recognize this truth, you will no longer settle for less than what you truly desire. You will no longer allow the world to dictate your limitations. You will stand in the power of your own being, knowing that you are a limitless creator. When you begin to live from this place of inner knowing, the world will shift to meet you. People will be drawn to you, opportunities will arise, and the things you once thought were out of reach will come to you with ease. You will no longer struggle, because you will understand that you are not working to make things happen. You are simply aligning with the flow of divine abundance that is always available to you. You are no longer a passive participant in your life. You are an active creator. The key is to remain steadfast in your assumptions. Do not let the appearance of things fool you. The world is malleable and it responds to your thoughts. If you assume that your desires are already yours, you will see evidence of that assumption in the world around you. If you hold the belief that you are wealthy, healthy, loved, and successful, those things will begin to manifest in your experience. Your external world is a reflection of your internal state. Change your inner state, and the outer world must change to match it. There will be moments when doubt tries to creep in, when the world appears to be stubbornly resistant to your assumptions. But remember, the world is not the source of your power. You are. Your thoughts are the architects of your reality. Your beliefs are the builders of your world. When you encounter resistance, simply reaffirm your assumption. Do not give in to the temptation to see the world as it appears. See it as you desire it to be, and the world will eventually align with that vision. This is the nature of consciousness. It is always becoming. You are always becoming, and your life is the result of what you have assumed about yourself and the world. You do not need to strive or struggle to create change. You only need to assume the change you desire, and it will become manifest. The world does not operate on the basis of hard work or effort. It operates on the principle of assumption. Assume the reality you wish to experience, and it will unfold naturally, effortlessly, and in perfect divine timing. To understand this, you are the creator of your reality. The world is not shaping you, you are shaping the world. Everything that comes into your experience is a result of your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. You have the power to change anything in your life by changing your assumptions about it. Your life is your creation. If you do not like what you see, change the way you are seeing it. If you do not like what you are experiencing, change the assumptions you are holding. The moment you shift your consciousness, the world shifts with you. There is no limit to what you can create, because there is no limit to the power within you. Do not wait for the world to change first. Change your assumptions and the world will follow. The only reality that is real is the one you create in your own mind. Everything you desire is already yours. Claim it now and see the world unfold in ways you never thought possible. The power is yours. The world is yours. You are the creator, and your life is a masterpiece waiting to be painted. Take the brush in your hand and create the life you truly desire. Let your imagination be the soil in which the seeds of your desires are planted. Do not merely observe the world around you. Enter into the world within you, where all things are born. That invisible world, though unseen by the physical eye, is more real than what you now call reality. Your senses will try to convince you otherwise, but they are only echoing your former assumptions. They report only what you have formerly believed to be true. But when you shift your assumption, when you dare to persist in a new belief, your senses will yield. They must, for the senses are servants, not masters. The imagination is the doorway through which your desires become tangible. You are not a victim of what you observe, you are the origin of it. All change begins within. And it begins with the decision to believe differently, to see differently, to feel differently. You must feel the reality of the wish fulfilled. You must make it real in your imagination before it becomes real in your life. And once you have seen it within, you must live as though it is already so, regardless of the evidence around you. For faith is loyalty to the unseen reality, and it is that loyalty that calls it into manifestation. You will be tempted to return to the old story, to respond to appearances as if they have power over you. But appearances are shadows of past thoughts. They are not causative. They are echoes, not songs. They are ripples, not stones. The moment you claim a new identity, a new story, a new state of being, you begin the process of resurrection. You raise the dead assumptions to life and watch as they shape the world around you. It is not arrogance to claim what is yours by divine right. It is obedience to truth. The truth that you are what you assume yourself to be, and that you become what you persist in believing. Do not ask how it will come. The how is not your concern. The bridge of incidents that will lead you to the fulfillment of your desire is already prepared. You do not need to construct it with effort or force. Your only task is to dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled. Feel it real, know that it is done, and then allow the natural flow of life to carry you from scene to scene, moment to moment, until you stand fully in the reality you once imagined. The imagination is the womb of creation. What you feel within it will be born into time. You are not waiting for it to happen. You are walking toward the manifestation that has already been decreed by your inner world. And yes, there will be days when the old thoughts try to pull you back, when the weight of past conditioning presses upon your mind. But remember, you are not your past. You are not bound to repeat what has been. You are free. Every moment is a fresh canvas. Every breath is an opportunity to assume something new. Persist. Do not let the outer world tell you what is possible. Let your inner conviction speak louder than the noise of the world. Such as Shaohojis. You have been given dominion over your life, not because of your effort, but because of your nature. You are divine consciousness individualized. There is no power outside of your own consciousness. No fate, no destiny, no external authority can override the power that lies within you. The only thing required is your willingness to believe, not in wishful thinking, but in deliberate, sustained assumption. To dwell in the end is to enter into the feeling of the wish already fulfilled. It is to move your attention away from what is and to rest it firmly upon what you desire to be. And the moment you do this, a shift occurs. It may be invisible at first, subtle, unspoken, but it is a shift in the foundation of your being. And the world must follow. Let your desire be holy, let it be sacred. Do not judge it by the standards of others. Do not question whether you are worthy of it. You are. The very desire you feel is evidence that its fulfillment already exists. You would not hunger unless the food already existed. You would not thirst unless the water already was. So too with your desire. It comes because its fulfillment is present within your own consciousness. It is calling you to a higher state, to a greater expression of your true self. Do not suppress it. Embrace it. Live from it. You are not becoming, you are revealing. What you assume is not a fiction you hope to believe in someday. It is the truth that has been hidden beneath layers of doubt, fear, and forgetfulness. To assume is to remember, to step into the awareness of your divine identity, and in this remembrance you reclaim your world. You walk into rooms with authority. You move through life not as one who begs, but as one who declares. For what you declare within will soon echo without. There is a power in stillness, in quiet, unseen moments of inner certainty. Do not underestimate the silence. When you sit in the silence of your imagination and assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are doing more than visualizing. You are planting reality. The outer world moves because the inner world has spoken. You do not need to beg for change. You command it by changing your inner state. And you do not command with force, but with assumption, with the gentle, unwavering knowing that it is already done. Allow yourself to feel it now. Not tomorrow, not once you see the evidence. Now. Feel what it would feel like if your desire were fulfilled. Let that feeling wash over you. Let it saturate your mind, your body, your spirit. Let it become your natural dwelling place. And the more you return to it, the more familiar it becomes, until one day you no longer feel like you are imagining it. You feel like you are remembering it. That is when the world begins to bend. And you will notice something extraordinary. The world around you will shift in response. People will say different things. Opportunities will arise where none existed before. Obstacles will dissolve, not because you fought them, but because you outgrew them. You rose in consciousness, and the outer world had no choice but to reflect the inner elevation. You did not force it. You became it. Every desire carries its own fulfillment. The moment you accept the desire as yours, you have already received it in seed form. Now it is your task to nurture it with belief, to feed it with imagination, to water it with emotion, and to shield it from the weeds of doubt. Guard your mind as you would guard a sacred treasure, for it is from your mind that all things are born. Live now as the person who has received. Speak now as the one who knows it is done. Act now, not in desperation, but in faith. And when you forget, because you will, from time to time, gently return. Return to the end, return to the state of fulfillment. That is the center of your being. That is your home. You do not need permission to believe in a greater life. You do not need anyone's agreement. You only need your own consent. The moment you agree within, the world will begin to reflect that agreement. And it does not matter how long you have believed otherwise. A new assumption, truly accepted, has the power to dissolve the effects of a lifetime of disbelief. This is the miracle of consciousness. It is never bound by time. One new assumption can redeem years of doubt. One moment of inner certainty can alter the course of your entire existence. That is the gift you have been given. The power to change the world by changing your mind. So dwell in the end. Not as a visitor, but as a resident. Let the state of your desire become so natural, so familiar, that it feels strange to imagine life without it. And as you continue to assume, to feel, to live from the end, you will notice that life becomes more effortless, more joyful, more miraculous. Because you are no longer chasing what you desire, you are embodying it. And what you embody must come into form. That is the law, that is the truth. You are always in a state. You may not have called it that before, but every moment of your life you are dwelling in a particular state of consciousness. These states are not merely emotions or moods, they are entire realities. Entire outcomes, patterns, and possibilities are contained within each state. You cannot experience what is not in the state you occupy. If you are in the state of lack, the world will reflect lack. If you are in the state of abundance, then your life becomes a mirror of abundance. It does not matter what the world says is happening. What matters is the state you are in while you observe it. Because it is not the world that is doing something to you, it is you, through your state shaping the world. Your consciousness is infinite. You can shift from one state to another as easily as you change your thoughts. But many remain in states that no longer serve them because they continue to believe the lie that circumstances are fixed, that personality is fixed, that fate is final. Nothing is fixed. The only thing that appears permanent is what you continue to give attention to. If you shift your attention, if you redirect your focus inward and change your assumption, then all things must follow. But the change must be internal first. You cannot manipulate the outer world into changing. You must become the version of you who no longer needs the change, because the change has already occurred in consciousness. And when you do this consistently, a quiet confidence grows in you. Not the confidence that comes from ego or superiority, but the divine confidence that knows who it is and needs no permission to exist. This confidence does not waver when things seem slow. It does not shrink when the outer world looks unchanged. It is rooted in the truth that what has been accepted in imagination is already real. You do not wait for proof, you become the proof. And so you begin to think from the end. You begin to walk as the one who already possesses, already knows, already is. And this is not about pretending, it is about remembering. remembering your true identity, the one that is not swayed by circumstances, not limited by appearances, the more you return to the state of the wish fulfilled, the more natural it becomes, until eventually you no longer even call it a wish. It is simply your way of being. Every person, every situation, every condition you meet is an outpicturing of your state. You do not have to change them. You only need to change your own self-concept. What do you believe to be true about yourself, about life, about others? These are the silent assumptions that create your experience, and they are yours to revise. If you have believed something disempowering, you can believe differently now. You can rise into a new state, and the former things will fall away like shadows at sunrise. They have no life of their own. They only live through your focus. And so choose deliberately, choose boldly, choose with the authority of one who knows that life does not happen to them, it happens through them. And do not be afraid to assume greatly. Let your vision expand, let your desires be vast, not because they will make you more, but because they already reflect the more that you are. Your desires are not random, they are revelations of your potential, they are messages from the higher self, showing you what you are capable of embodying. Do not minimize them, do not explain them away, embrace them, live into them. It is your inner speech that determines the outcome. The conversations you have with yourself are more powerful than any action you can take. For what you consistently say to yourself becomes the mold through which your reality is poured. Speak to yourself as one who is already victorious. Declare to yourself that it is done. Refuse to argue for your limitations. Do not indulge in self-pity or replay old narratives of failure. They may feel familiar, but they are not true. What is true is what you decide now. Your assumptions need not be logical. They only need to be accepted. There is no virtue in trying to figure out how the impossible becomes possible. The greater wisdom is in knowing that what you assume and persist in must become fact. You do not have to bend the world to your will. You only need to bend your will to a new assumption. And in doing so, you bend the world without effort. For the outer world is always obedient to the inner. And as you begin to see evidence of your new state, remain humble. Not the humility of shrinking, but the humility of understanding that you did not achieve this through force. You allowed it by aligning with your higher self. You aligned with truth, and truth always manifests itself. The old life begins to dissolve, and the new life emerges, not because you earned it, but because you finally assumed it. You no longer ask, will it happen? You declare, it is happening, it is now, it is done. You must become one with the desire. There is no separation between you and that which you want, except for your own belief in the separation. The moment you stop desiring from a place of lack and begin to assume from a place of possession, you close the gap. The wish fulfilled is not something you chase, it is something you dwell in. Feel the joy now. Feel the peace now. Let it live in your body. Let it breathe through your words. Let it inform every action, every choice, every moment. For you are not becoming, you are remembering. You are realigning. What you seek is seeking you. What you imagine with love, with conviction, with confidence, must return to you in form. The process is not personal, it is principle. It does not reward some and withhold from others. It simply reflects. The world is a mirror, and you are the face. What you show it, it returns. So show it your strength, show it your wholeness, show it your worth. And when the moment comes, and it will, when your world has changed, when the thing you once imagined now stands before you in full detail, you will smile, not in surprise, but in recognition. You will know it not as a stranger, but as something familiar. For you saw it first within. You entertained it. You embraced it. You became it. And now it has become you. This is the way of all creation. Nothing begins on the outside. All things begin within. And so long as you hold fast to the state of the wish fulfilled, so long as you continue to imagine from the end, the world cannot help but conform. It must. It always does. There is no other law. There is no other truth. Remain faithful, then, to the vision within you. Return to it when doubts arise. Reaffirm it when the senses contradict it. Rejoice in it even before it appears, and let your faith be active, not passive. Let it be the daily assumption that your world is already new, already radiant, already whole. Because it is. And you, being one with the power that made all things, have the authority to speak it so. And so, let us now rest in the awareness that all we have ever sought already lives within us. The power to assume, to feel, to believe. This is the true creative force. You need not look to the world to give you signs, for you are the sign. You are the cause. As you dwell in the end, you rewrite your story, not through striving, but through silent knowing. You no longer chase the dream. You awaken to the truth that you are the dreamer, and the dream is yours to shape. Remain faithful to the unseen. Persist in the assumption. Feel it real. For the moment you do, the world will bend to match it. This is the secret of life. This is the mystery revealed. All is within, all is now, all is you.